So there are habits that improve our brain function, improves brain memory, brain activity, and makes us smarter. And then there are habits that does exactly the opposite. They have a damaging effect on our brain. And if these habits are left unchecked, they can have serious consequences not only in our day-to-day activities but also affect us mentally. These habits can damage our cognitive ability and can cause serious complications like dementia and Alzheimer's later in life. So in this video, we are going to be talking about these 10 habits, and we are starting right now. Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Taha Khan. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I share with you clinic and exam related productivity tips and strategies. If this is your first time here, start now by subscribing and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss anything. The first habit is sleep deprivation. You see, just like our body, our mind also needs proper rest. And the best form of rest we can give to our mind is a sound, undisturbed sleep. And not getting proper sleep poses a risk not only to our body but also to our mental health. And there are long-term and short-term consequences of having sleep deprivation or not having proper sleep. The short-term consequences may be lack of focus, lack of concentration, mood swings, and if this continues, there might be chances of long-term consequences. The lifestyle diseases like diabetes, like hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, anxiety. Several studies have shown that our brain purifies itself of toxins during deep sleep. And few things that we can do to get proper sleep. सबसे पहला, avoid caffeine 10 hours before bedtime. Second, avoid blue light 1 hour before bedtime, and especially mobile phones. Mobile phones से क्या होता है ना कि when you have ever noticed कि when you are playing games, then you are able to play games for longer. नींद नहीं आती है उस वक्त में. But when we work, even on mobile, when we work, then we feel sleepy. The reason for that is dopamine, and we need to detox this dopamine. And this ये detoxification जो process है ना, at least 1 hour तो लगेगा इसमें. So that is why 1 hour before bedtime, no mobile phones. Third, sleep routine proper होना चाहिए. Sleep timing, wake up time. This should be fixed. And waking up early in the morning is not the difficult thing. It apparently looks as if that is the difficult thing, but it is easier. The difficult part is sleeping. The next habit is sedentary lifestyle. You see, I am a homeopath. And one thing that is remarkably appreciative of this science is that no other science in the world has studied human beings as much as this science has. So in my college, I was taught of not only the diseases that result as a result of having sedentary lifestyle, but also the symptoms that develop, and we have medicines for persons who have a tendency or who have a sedentary lifestyle. So having a sedentary life decreases your cognitive ability. It causes fatigue, it causes low energy, and it can even have long-term effects like anxiety, depression. So the antidote to this will be to incorporate more and more movements in your day-to-day activities. Join a gym or go out for sports, play some outdoor games regularly. Or if the nature of your work is such that you have to work from home, then get a standing desk so that in between the sessions you can always change your positions and do some stretching so that you have some movements while you work. The third habit that is damaging your brain is smoking. Although this is very addictive, but the negative effects it has is detrimental. It can cause serious health hazards. Like I keep telling my patients, smoking, when you are smoking, it is almost equivalent that you are buying disease from your own money, from your own hard-earned money. You are buying disease. Furthermore, you will analyze, you will notice that people who are long-term smokers, later in their life, they are prone to suffer from major diseases like dementia, sclerosis, due to decrease in the brain volume. And smoking affects the major organs in the body. It doesn't affect the minor organs. It affects directly lungs. It affects directly heart. And you will see that most of the complications arising out of chain smokers are related to lungs and hearts. The first step in the right direction would be understanding the health hazard this thing possesses. And day by day, slowly, how this habit keeps damaging your brain until one day you are possessed with some major disease, then you are not. The fourth point is dehydration. You see, our body is made up of 80% water. So just going by this stat, we can know how important this particular element is in the normal functioning of our body, in the normal functioning of our brain and the major organs and all the organs in the body. So if we are not having adequate water, in short term, we may notice headaches and dizziness. But in the long term, we may notice seizures, kidney failure, brain swelling, shock, coma, and even death. So we need to make sure that our daily water intake is adequate and we need to keep track of it. The easiest way is to carry a bottle of water everywhere you go. Or you can get a smart water bottle and keep a track of how much water you need to take, because it will notify you on your phone via the app. The fifth habit is high sugar consumption, and the worst form of it is soft drinks, which we so frequently take without regard to the amount of sugar and the amount of calories we are taking with it. Because what it does is this sugar interrupts the absorption of proteins and other nutrients into our brain, which ultimately will cause decreased brain development. So we need to keep a track of the amount of calories that we need to take that is required for meal. So just search for the reference calorie intake by a person of your height, your age, your gender, and stick to that. The sixth habit that might be damaging your brain is if you're not getting enough sunlight. You see, sunlight is a good source of vitamin D. Well, actually, technically, it is not a source of vitamin D. Our body synthesizes vitamin D in presence of sunlight. And vitamin D is an essential vitamin for performing various cellular functions in the body. So if there is deficiency of vitamin D, or if we are not getting enough sunlight, then we might suffer from cognitive decline and depression. So what we need to be doing is get enough sunlight, adequate sunlight that is required for the synthesis of vitamin D, so that we have sufficient vitamin D in our body. And suppose we don't have sufficient vitamin D and we are not able to get enough sunlight, so it is advisable to take supplementary form of vitamin D. The seventh habit that is damaging your brain is if you are taking too much stress about your work, about your relationship. Because occasional stress and having little stress is essential. That is what I believe, to keep us moving forward, to keep us motivated. But if this stress stays long or gets too much, then it can have detrimental effect on our body, on our life. Anxiety, insomnia, depression, cloudy thinking, low energy. These are few of the symptoms that we might experience when we suffer from stress for a long period of time. So what we need to be doing is we need to find out where is our stress, whether it is in work, whether it is in relationship, and what is the reason behind this stress. Is it the environmental factor? Is it the work culture? Is it the colleagues? Or is it our social life? So we need to find the source of that stress and we need to address the problem. The eighth habit is unhealthy diet. You see, the food that we put in our body is the fuel for our brain. So we need to make sure what is the type of fuel that we are providing our brain with. Because if we are in a habit of eating junk foods, or if we are in a habit of overeating or eating too much sugar. Just now in our previous point we have spoken what sugar does, what overeating does to our body and also to our mind. So instead of going for oily foods and spicy foods all the time, what we need to be doing is we need to be eating foods that are good for our brain, like the leafy vegetables, like the berries. So we need to develop a habit of eating healthy to keep our brain healthy. The ninth habit is loud music. Listening to loud music also has a negative effect on our brain. Studies have shown that prolonged exposure to loud noise and loud music changes how our brain processes speech, especially when we are listening to loud music on earphones. That makes the brain difficult in understanding the different kinds of speech sounds. And also, if we are continuously listening to loud music on earphones, that causes damages to our ear and the auditory nerve. So when listening to music, make sure the volume you set is at a reasonable level. Or if you're going to any concert or any open area, then make sure to carry some earplugs to block out the loud noise. The 10th and the last point in today's list is social isolation. You see, human beings are social creatures. They are social animals. We thrive on building social connections with our friends and emotional connections with our friends, with our families. And social isolation has been linked to depression, to reduced sleep quality. And all these things have a negative impact on our brain health, on our mental health. So we need to join groups, we need to make friends, we need to meet new people, and all these things, all these points is gonna make your brain healthy and give you an ideal mental health. So these were the 10 habits that is damaging your brain. Which of these habits are you still following? Let me know in the comment section below. And as for me, out of all these points, the first point, that was sleep deprivation, that might be a bit applicable to me because I need to get up early because I need to go to the gym, and now it is around 1:30 a.m. at night and I'm recording this video. So there are things that I have to do beyond my normal routine hours. So I won't say that I have to do this daily, but often I have to make time to do all these things. But I am trying and getting better at these things, and I hope soon that even this one point will get eliminated and I'll fall into a proper routine. So let me know how many of these habits you are still following. Let me know how you like the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.